You're standing in her kitchen right now. You just drove 40 minutes to bring her soup because she texted you she had the sniffles. You stopped at the store, bought the good brand, maybe even grabbed some flowers. You're expecting a hug. You're expecting that look of adoration where she realizes you are the only man who truly cares. Instead, you get that look, you know the one. It's a mix of pity, annoyance, and mild disgust. She says, "Aw, you didn't have to do that," but her body language is screaming, "Get out." You feel like a golden retriever who just peed on the rug, not a hero. You feel your stomach drop, you're confused. You're thinking, "I'm being nice, I'm being a good guy. Why does she look at me like I just insulted her? It burns, I know." I've been that guy holding the flowers while she gets into an Uber to go see a guy who hasn't texted her back in 3 days. It makes you want to scream at the sky, it feels unjust. But here is the hard truth. Disney lied to you. Your mother lied to you. Society told you that kindness is the currency of love. They told you that if you just deposit enough nice tokens into her account, eventually the machine will pay out in sex and loyalty. That is a lie. That is a fraudulent check that will bounce every single time you try to cash it in the real world. You are not being rejected despite your kindness. You are being rejected because of it. You need to understand the biological wiring here. To you, bringing that soup was a gesture of love. To her primal brain, the part of her that has been evolving for 200,000 years, it was a gesture of submission. It was a bribe. Women are walking, talking lie detectors. They have had to be to survive. When you are overly nice to a woman who has not earned it, you are signaling a covert contract. You are doing X because you secretly want Y you aren't giving freely. You are paying a tax to be in her presence, and nobody respects the tax collector. She smells the transaction on you. She smells the desperation. You are subcommunicating that your time and resources are cheap. If you are willing to drop everything to serve her when she has given you nothing in return, you are telling her that you have nothing better to do. You are low status in the wild. Resources are scarce. A high-value male guards his resources. He guards his time. If he gives attention, it is because the female has proven she is worthy of it. When you give it away for free, you inflate the market. You make yourself worthless. Think about a guy named Alan. Alan is the sweetest guy ever. He agrees with everything she says. She says she hates horror movies. Suddenly, Alan hates horror movies too. She cancels a date last minute. Alan says, "No worries, whenever you're ready." Alan thinks he is being accommodating. She sees a man with no spine. She sees a man who is terrified of conflict. And biologically, fear of conflict is the ultimate turnoff. Why? Because nature is brutal. If you are too afraid to stand up to her, a 120-pound woman, how are you going to stand up to the tribe next door when they come to take the food? How are you going to protect the offspring? Her repulsion is not her being mean. It is a safety mechanism. It is her instincts screaming, "This male is weak. He will fold under pressure. Do not mate with him." The ick you feel coming from her is actually her survival instinct rejecting your lack of backbone. It gets deeper. Excessive kindness looks like manipulation. It feels like you are trying to buy her, and a woman who can be bought is a woman who is not safe. She wants to know you chose her because you want her, not because you are trying to purchase her approval to fill a hole in your own ego. When you simp, you place the burden of your happiness on her shoulders. That is heavy, that is exhausting. She doesn't want to be your therapist or your mother. She wants to be your woman. You have to learn the difference between being nice and being good. These are not the same thing. Nice is a behavior rooted in fear. Nice guys are agreeable because they are terrified of rejection. They hide their true thoughts. They manipulate through servitude. Good is a character trait rooted in strength. A good man has principles. He treats people with respect, but he has teeth. He has boundaries. He can say no. He can look her in the eye and say, "I'm not doing that," and not feel a shred of guilt. That is attractive. That is polarizing. When a good man does something kind, it hits differently. If a man who never compromises his values suddenly brings her flowers, it means something. It has weight. Because she knows he didn't have to do it. He chose to. When a nice guy does it, it's just another Tuesday payment on the debt he thinks he owes her for existing. If you are tired of being the emotional tampon, if you are done trading your dignity for scraps of attention, you need to wake up. This is not a game, this is your life. Hit that subscribe button. Join the tribe of men who are burning their covert contracts. We don't beg for attention here, we command respect. So here is the shift. Stop performing. Stop trying to earn her. The next time you feel the urge to do something nice just to get a reaction, stop, freeze, ask yourself, am I doing this because I genuinely want to, or am I doing this because I am afraid she lines lose interest if I do'nt? If it's fear, don't do it. Let the silence hang. Let the text go unanswered for a few hours. Let her fetch her own soup. It sounds harsh, but you need to recalibrate the dynamic. You need to show her that your kindness is a reward for her good behavior, not a desperate plea for her acknowledgement. Be a monster who chooses to be civilized, not a sheep who is incapable of being anything else. She doesn't want a harmless man. She wants a dangerous man who is only harmless to her. There is a massive difference. Go find your teeth.